Forgive me, for I have sinned. For actually believing this might be a half-decent movie. Hello ladies and gentlemen and movie lovers of all kind, and welcome back to another new release review. And for today, I will be covering The Nun, the latest installment in the Conjuring universe. The Nun was directed by Corin Hardy and stars Tessa Farmiga, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, Demian Bichir, and Jonah Blaukamp. Now this time around, The Nun follows a nun, or a soon-to-be nun, and a priest who travel to Romania to investigate a nun's suicide. Now I gotta be honest, after just recently covering The Conjuring in my last Super series, I actually held out a little bit of hope for this one, thinking hey, you know, they stumbled a little bit with Annabelle, but they know what they're doing now, so maybe this one can be really good, maybe it can even be the best one yet, who knows. The trailers actually looked relatively promising, they creeped me out, and they promised the darkest chapter of the Conjuring universe and all this stuff, so I was really excited for this movie. If you haven't seen it yet, don't be excited. That's all I can say. Let's just get into it. So to kick off the positives, it's actually going to be Tessa Farmiga. Again, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. I just said both because I don't want to mess it up. But fun fact, she's actually the younger sister of Vera Farmiga, who was best known for playing Lorraine Warren in the two Conjuring films. She does a really good job in this movie. I was actually first exposed to her acting in American Horror Story, and that's of course a horror series. It's a horror anthology series. So, you know, I kind of knew who she was going into this, and I was honestly super stoked because I really like her in that show. And luckily she does a really good job in this. She's really good at just emoting what she's feeling. Very good. Not like someone that can't hide something and you wear your emotions on your sleeve. No, it's more so like she really is great at making the audience know what she's feeling and feel what she's feeling. You know when she's scared, you know when she's curious, you know just about everything that she's feeling. So to see her make the jump to the big screen but also leading in a big movie like this, I think she really did stand her ground, and I hope to see her in more things, so she did a very fine job, and you know, to her. And the next positive is the cinematography in this movie. It's not quite as smooth as like the first Conjuring movie where it followed people around, and it does a really good job at making you feel like you're with these people. This one, it's more so Romania. It's pretty good cinematography. It's fine cinematography, I guess, when you're following the characters, but just kind of the landscaping and the roads and everything like that. Like, I mean, like the little creeks and the valleys and things like that they travel through in Romania, and of course the wide shots of the castle and everything. That stuff was very nice. It was very pretty to look at, and even in the actual movie, there's nothing wrong with it. You know, there was no like shaky camera or anything. It was fine. It does a pretty solid job at making you feel claustrophobic though when you're in these tight corridors. Or there's at one point where it is shown in the trailer where someone is trapped in a coffin and everything, and that feels really good. Feels claustrophobic, and when they're traveling down the dark hallways, down in like the basement, the catacombs and stuff that you see in the trailer, all of that, it feels dark, it feels dingy. The whole castle and everything feels really old. So the cinematography is very good. This is not top notch. It's not like Roger Deakins or anything like that, but it's very good, and it's an enjoyable watch. The next positive is some, and I will put emphasis on some decent-ish kind of sort of creepy scares and scenes. It's not overflowing with creepiness. It's not this big atmospheric film like the first Conjuring where I just felt it the whole time, just this kind of presence. No, not really. There are some decent jump scares, and I don't like jump scares, but some actually did get me that I wasn't able to predict, but by some I literally mean like some, like 2 or 3. For the most part, you know, there's a couple of scenes where the tension starts to build a little bit, or some creepy things happening. I'm like, okay, well yeah, I'd probably run and cry if that were me. But overall, nothing fantastic, just some decent-ish kind of okay scares. And next is just the Nun herself, played by Bonnie Aarons once again. The Nun, of course, was in The Conjuring 2, and she carries over to this one. It's her kind of origin story, although not really, kind of like a Rust origin story, and then she's just present. But yeah, the Nun is super creepy, just like the Annabelle doll before her, or pretty much every other thing besides like the Crooked Man in the Conjuring universe is creepy. She's exceptionally creepy. You know her by now. You've seen the trailers. If you've seen The Conjuring 2, she's super creepy. She's well played by Bonnie Aarons, so fantastic job once again. The Nun's super creepy, and she does a great job portraying her. And next is actually the change setting. I enjoy the change of pace in this movie. In all the other Conjuring films, it all takes place in a house. It's just a house. The Conjuring 2, Annabelle Creation, they all take place in these haunted houses. And, you know, they're fun, they're fine, they're good movies, they're enjoyable to watch, but almost every horror movie takes place in a haunted house or a cabin or something in one form or another. This one kind of changes it up a little bit by taking place in a castle in Romania, so I actually really enjoyed that change of pace. I thought it was very good. I thought it was interesting to see this kind of new perspective. It's not just this small, compact, haunted house. It's this giant haunted castle, and it's very old. It's torn apart. It was like bombed during World War II. It really led to this. It was a nice feeling, I guess. It was nice to see the change of setting. The scenery was all very nice, like I said, with the cinematography. The castle felt old. It felt dingy. It felt worn out, and there's holes everywhere, and there's leaks and everything. So it felt like a really cool, creepy kind of castle walkthrough, like if you were to find an abandoned castle somewhere in Romania. So that was awesome. And that's actually already it for the positives, but now there actually is a middle ground for this one. There hasn't been a middle ground in a while, I don't think. The middle ground for this one is the tie-ins to the first movie and the rest of the Conjuring universe. It's okay. I was kind of confused, and that's why it lands in the middle. I was going to give it a negative, but then I was like, basically, it's this. You have Sister something or another, I believe it's Sister Rose in Annabelle Creation. She says how she was in Romania, and then she has the picture, and you kind of see Valak in it, and I was like, oh, that's the Easter egg for the na-na. But then, when you actually see this movie, you're like, how does that make any sense? How was she there in Romania when this happens, and it looks like this, and this happened, and then... what? Doesn't make a whole lot of sense, and same thing with the ending of the movie. I'm like, well, how do we get The Conjuring 2 then? And then it kind of explains it, but not really. It does, and then I believe they say a name too to kind of try to wrap together, make you go, oh my god, it's the same person! But I don't really think, like, I haven't watched the first Conjuring movie since I did my review on it, so I'd have to go back and check it, but I don't think it's the same name they said in the movie, so I don't really know, if I'm being honest. So it kind of confuses me, but it kind of also does wrap up sort of nicely, so it lands in the middle ground. And now for the negatives, and there is a good chunk of them, so I will try to just zip through them and not spend too much time, because some of them are very repetitive. Of course, this movie is a jump scare fest. There's almost no scary moments aside from the jump scares. This movie heavily relies on jump scares. That got annoying because, like I said, anytime that it felt like there was going to be a genuine good scare, it just led to a jump scare. Over and over again, just jump scare, jump scare, jump scare. I just wish that sometimes they would let the tension just sit there when there's a creepy moment happening, rather than go boom, jump scare, and then ending it, let it sit, let it fester, and don't even give us a jump scare. Maybe wait till the next scene, or maybe let us think this scene's over or something, but no. It just always led to a jump scare. Which is actually my second negative, and that is the fact that this movie, it feels like every single scene is contributing to the jump scare at the end, not to the characters, not to the story, but solely to the jump scare that occurs at the end of the scene. Because there's almost no story in this movie, if I'm being honest. It's literally just jump scare, jump scare, jump scare. Every scene felt like it was heading towards that jump scare, and then the next scene, another jump scare, and that's it. And next is the character played by Jonah Blockett, and that is Frenchie. And Frenchie I found to be annoying as hell. I don't know why he's in this movie. He's just this typical romantic Frenchman who's, hits on all the ladies and the girls love him and yada yada yada. But he was so annoying. I don't know why he was in this movie. We don't need comedic relief in a horror movie, especially a horror movie of this caliber in the Conjuring universe. So I have no idea why this guy is in this movie. He added nothing to it besides just being annoying to me. I did chuckle a couple times at some of his antics, but for the most part, I thought he was just super misplaced. I don't know why he was in this movie at all, and honestly, the character just annoyed me. And next is the story in this movie. You have the beginning of the story where, hey, you have to get this priest and this nun to travel to Romania, but then after that, like I said, it's jump scare palooza. There really isn't that much of a story to it. It kind of just, like, there is bits and pieces of a story that you find out every now and then, but for the most part it's just these people like exploring the castle and the castle grounds and then getting led into jump scares, and they know there's an evil demonic presence here and stuff, but there's no leading into it, there's no build up to it, there's no explanation of it really. It does kind of come through little bits and pieces of information, but it's not like a cool story where it gives you bits and pieces of information to put together yourself and it's a puzzle you gotta solve. No, it's just jump scare, jump scare, jump scare, jump scare, jump scare, jump scare. Little, like, 15 seconds of information that contributes to a thing called a story. Jump scare, jump scare, jump scare. It does that rinse and repeat formula, and then the movie ends, and it doesn't really ever feel like you were on a story. It feels like you just were in a kind of haunted house and watching these people explore it, but it was a haunted castle. And the last two are typical tropes that happen in horror movies nowadays, and it's something I have a big problem with, and it really annoys me. Second last one, this movie is brutally predictable, especially all the jump scares. Like I said, besides 2 or 3, I knew they were coming. Literally, I could 3, 2, 1 it, boom, and then you're, ooh, scared and stuff, but not actually because you saw it coming. I jumped a couple of times. For the most part, I just sat there, and then the loud noise went off. I just kind of, okay, oh, really? Okay, that's fancy. But for the most part, the jump scares are insanely predictable. The movie goes how you'd expect. Anything that they try to, like, surprise you with You already saw it coming, so I don't really, understand why they couldn't do anything relatively unpredictable, but no, everything is predictable, and it leads to an almost painful experience at times. And lastly, that the characters make so many damn dumb decisions. My god, why can't we get some smart people up in these horror movies? Seriously, they're so stupid. Stop following this small child around, the creepy little barefoot kid running around the corridors. Don't follow him, maybe. Maybe if you see a nun randomly appear in your room while you're sleeping, don't go and talk to her. Why you always have to go face to face with people? Why go follow a bell at a grave site? Why just do these stupid things all the time? Don't go walking alone in the dark in this castle you know is haunted. Don't go leaving the castle constantly to go outside by yourself. Don't be so stupid all the time. I don't understand, but they are really, really stupid all the time, and those are very, very, yes, non-specific examples that definitely aren't in this movie of people being stupid. So that's what I have to say about The Nun. I know I was really bagging on it for a while, hitting it with a lot of negatives, and they are true negatives, I'm going to stand by them. But there are positives to this movie that make it kind of, sort of, maybe, possibly at some point in time, way down the road when you're really, really bored and you literally have nothing else to do, revisiting this movie. But for the most part, it's an okay, mediocre at best monster movie. It's really nothing special. Sadly, it seems like the Conjuring universe has stumbled once again. Maybe when we get the Conjuring 3 or the Crooked Man or something else, Annabelle 3, maybe they'll pick it back up, find their footing again. Who knows, but for now, I'm going to be giving The Nun a 5.5 out of 10. So guys, if you liked this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment, and let me know, what did you think of The Nun? And as always guys, thank you so much for watching. And that's a wrap.